ça va, ça se va. But apparently they finally gotten around to counting the number of ants on the Earth. But you already seen something about that now, haven't you?
Yeah.
So how many is it?
10 quadrillion.
10 quadrillion, which is a 10 plus 18 zeros.
Get it right, eh?
Now, can you imagine if there were 10 quadrillion humans on the Earth?
Oh my god.
Wonder what would happen then, eh?
Overpopulation.
Overpopulation. At least. Guess what we're talking about?
Kangaroo! What are we talking about? DNA.
Well, we've already talked about genes.
I'm talking about...
No, you only get one guess. Today, we're talking about Vikings. Learning stuff.
Rizky.
Tell me something that you know about the Vikings.
They were... warriors?
They were warriors. They
No.
worried a lot
No.
about
I'm not talking about...
people. They worried about people. They didn't want to hurt anyone.
No!
What was the Viking village like?
It was like a peaceful land.
Where they grew flowers.
No. They seriously had sheep for food. Same with some cows.
Yeah.
And every time they wanted to, because there was no king, they would just often seriously just kill other lands for more food.
Well, I mean, the thing is, they're living far up north. Okay? So there's not as much good land. The growing season is short. If there's a problem with the climate, and the crops fail, then, everyone's got trouble. So you might need to attack the weaker tribes and steal their stuff. And that's how they got their start in Vikinging, those Vikings. Right. So, this is how the Viking era sort of started. So, I mean, the Vikings were also traders because they could use these boats to go other places. What's the advantage of trading over stealing?
Well, you would probably get rid of some space from like a bunch of stuff.
Oh, because you had too much stuff.
Yeah,
And you had to get rid of it.
rid of some of it.
Right. So it helps you get rid of stuff, trading.
Yeah.
Not really. Well, I mean, the thing is, if you're trading, then you're always going to have a stable place where you can get your stuff. And you don't have to kill people, and in doing so, risk being killed yourself. See, the Vikings kind of had the advantage that they were scary big guys, so they could usually, kill people before they'd get killed. And that was how they kept Vikinging and not trading. But they did trade too. They developed some trade routes. Like, where did the Vikings go? They went to some interesting places. Where'd they go? They came to Canada, didn't they?
Yay!
What happened when they came to Canada?
They gave the people milk for exchange for stuff.
And then what happened to them?
They got they got sick.
The native people got sick. Right. Why did the native people get sick?
Because usually their bodies don't really drink milk.
Right, because they're vegans, right? No, they're not. They're lactose intolerant.
Yeah, they're lactose intolerant.
Yes.
And then they thought that they got scanned and
Scammed?
or got poisoned from them.
Right. Not scammed. Well, in a sense, scammed, but poisoned. Properly poisoned. So, that meant that the Vikings and the native people here didn't really get along. So the Vikings had to hightail it back to Scandinavia, right? Pretty much. Now, the Viking era sort of ended because the Vikings became victims of their own success. That the Vikings began to centralize and become powerful, and then they became nations properly. And nations don't Viking. Only little groups Viking. So nations attack and conquer, which is a little different. That means you don't go and take their stuff and leave, that means you go and take their land and stay. It's different, right? Yeah. So the Vikings spread actually all throughout Europe, and they affected a lot of different societies, right? So now the Viking boats were very important. They had some really good boats. In fact, that's what really made them Vikings and not just robbers. What was it about the Viking boats? What can you tell me?
Well, some were like smooth or like,
Some were rough.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, actually they were long Viking boats.
They were long boats. In fact, they were called longboats.
It had a dragon face on it on the front.
They called them actually the dragon boats. And during the Viking era of the longboat, they made the boats bigger and longer so that they could carry more warriors when they attacked. But the important thing about the Viking longboat was they could go across the sea, but also up the river, and so the Vikings could attack very quickly before anyone could get prepared for them. And then so people are just on the shore having a good time and stuff, and then bang, Viking attack, scramble, kind of thing. So that was the key to the Viking success, was the boats that could sail upriver, and they were very fast, and they could attack quickly. That was the point of the Viking boats. They called them dragon boats because they put a dragon on front. They made them more fancy, and they even gave them names. Vikings are raiders. In fact, the Vikings are not even properly soldiers because they're not that organized. It's mostly about fear, surprise attack, and brutality. They were complete savages. Complete savages.
Only one of them did not just throw a kid and seriously stabbed them in the stomach.
Oh, you're talking about the child lover. That's what they called him. The Viking that they called the child lover because he didn't
throw a kid up and then aimed its sword, and then when the kid was falling, it would stab him in the stomach.
Whereas everyone else had a great time doing that, right? Which is pretty barbaric, gotta say.